What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next review, I'm going to be reviewing a classic comedy movie. It's definitely it's up there on the list of one of the better comedies of all time, I think. You know, it's a classic. People definitely remember it. I am actually going to review Dumb and Dumber, the first one. And with me, I actually have a special guest that is going to be helping me review this movie, a collaborator, if you will. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll get started.
Hello, Batmites. Arkham Assassin here. I am a gaming channel, so let's get on with the review.
All right, so basically what the plot of this movie, first of all, of course, for all you fans of Dumb and Dumber, the movie and whatnot, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels are the main stars in this film. And with Jeff Daniels, real quick, it's really interesting because before he starred in this movie, he wasn't known as a big comedic person. You know, he wasn't known as that big comedic presence, not like Jim Carrey was. Jim Carrey, of course, before he did Dumb and Dumber, he did the show In Living Color. And he was the only white guy in a cast of all black people in the In Living Color. But yeah, Jeff Daniels wasn't really known for comedy and whatnot. So it was interesting to see him take this role, and you consider it's a big risk. It was a big risk of a movie because these two are playing dumb idiots. It could either go really right, or it could go horribly wrong.
But I think this movie did it perfectly.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. It absolutely did, and it's got a great following. It's, of course, the sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2. I mean, there were quite a bit of people that liked that movie. It didn't get as great critical reception as the first one did, but still, I mean, it was a big one for Dumb and Dumber fans, and Jim Carrey fans in general, Jeff Daniels fans.
Yeah, and I watched Dumb and Dumber 2 before I watched the first one. And after watching the first one, I honestly, in my opinion, I think the second one's a little better.
I have yet to watch the second one, so I'm going to definitely be watching it at some point. So, yeah, Dumb and Dumber, it received a 66% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is good. I mean, it's definitely a pretty decent rating. Not the best rating ever, but it's definitely decent for a comedy. For sure, like the material, you know, a dumb comedy like this is. So basically, this is about two guys, Lloyd Christmas, who's played by Jim Carrey, and Harry Dunn, who is played by Jeff Daniels. They're living in Rhode Island, and one day Jim Carrey, who's a limo driver, he does this for a living, he runs into this beautiful girl named Mary Swanson, who is played by Lauren Holly. And a little interesting fact about Lauren Holly, I'll let Arkham Assassin talk about that.
She played Director Shepard, I believe that was her name, in NCIS. So she's still in the business, you know, doing her thing.
So he instantly falls in love with Mary Swanson. And then he sees that Mary Swanson... Sorry about that, my cat, he gets in my videos sometimes, so...
He just wanted his part in the show.
Yeah, he just wanted his star moment. His 15 seconds, but anyway, so Mary Swanson, she leaves a briefcase, mysterious briefcase, in an airport, and Lloyd picks up the briefcase and tries to get her, and now he has to go on this adventure with his friend Harry, to go to Aspen to retrieve to give that briefcase back to Mary Swanson.
And for those of you who don't know, Aspen is in Colorado.
They said it was funny. They said it was in California.
Yes. It was quite funny.
Lloyd said it was in California, and you know, it's like Aspen, Colorado. It's the one. You could pick a lot of other towns, but Aspen, Colorado just seems right for this type of movie, I guess. Something like that. Mm. But yeah, anyway, they go to Aspen, but little do they realize that there's a conspiracy going on between a friend of the family of Mary Swanson's and a couple thugs, basically, to ransom money. I mean, this is basically, I read the synopsis here, and it is ransom money, that the suitcase contains ransom money, and little do Lloyd and Harry know, this is, you know, it contains ransom money, and it is ransom money for the husband of Mary Swanson, named Bobby. So these dumb schmucks, they have to try to save the day, pretty much unwittingly. So that basically is the plot of this movie.
Yeah, pretty much two dumb guys saving the day unknowingly.
Pretty much, yeah. This was definitely, if you watched my video on Jim Carrey, I did an about video on Jim Carrey a while back, I mentioned that this movie, and also The Mask and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, those were the three movies that really launched Jim Carrey into stardom. But I think more than anything, Dumb and Dumber was the movie that really put Jim Carrey on the map. Because before then, you knew him as the white guy in Living Color. The only white guy.
Although that's where I would have to disagree, because I like the Ace Ventura movies a little bit more. But, you know, we all got our own little grievances.
Yeah, I've yet to watch Ace Ventura, the Ace Ventura movie, so I will definitely get on that. I've watched The Mask. I really do enjoy that movie, too.
That is a good one.
First movie for Cameron Diaz, as a matter of fact. The first ever movie for Cameron Diaz.
Is it?
Yep.
Oddly enough, Cameron Diaz, her early days was a porn actress.
Really?
Yeah.
New things you learn every day, pretty much, people.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz was a porn actress. Wow.
She only starred in one porno, but that's about it.
Well, I have to get my hands on that porno then. No. But anyway, yeah, this was a star-making performance for Jim Carrey. There were a lot of people that liked the performance. There were the critics, though. There were the detractors that said this was just a dumb movie, basically, with not a lot of...
dumb movie, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, the characterization of this one. Obviously, I think the star of this movie is Jim Carrey. Obviously, I rave about Jim Carrey. He's one of my favorite comedic actors. And he just delivers a great performance in this one. It's like, finally, you know, this guy struggled in the business for years. He struggled for years trying to craft his own with his stand-up comedy, and he was in a lot of movies, low-budget movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he had some trouble at first. Then In Living Color came. That was kind of the big, not breakthrough, but it was kind of like he got noticed on the show, definitely. But then it was Dumb and Dumber and The Mask and Ace Ventura, especially Dumb and Dumber to me, that really put this guy on the map and really made him into a big superstar. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And Jeff Daniels got really popular off this movie, too. I mean, he did a lot of, he's done a lot of dramatic roles in a lot of dramatic movies, but this is the role he's most known for. I mean, obviously, the two Dumb and Dumber movies, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think he held his own again with Jim Carrey. I really do. Jim Carrey was clearly the better performer in this movie, but I think Jeff Daniels held his own. Certainly.
I mean, it was his first time in comedy, and it's going to take a little while to get your comedic sense.
Definitely. And then, as for Mary Swanson, played by Lauren Holly, She played the straight woman, the straight character in this movie. So I can give her a pass on this because she wasn't really expected, playing the straight woman, to have a lot of comedy and things like that in her repertoire. Not really. Interesting fact. The actress Lauren Holly, who played Mary Swanson, was married to Jim Carrey for 1 year.
Yep, but they divorced because she didn't find him funny.
Apparently not. I mean, but hey, Jim Carrey is definitely one of my favorites. He's one of the best out there, definitely. And yeah, I mean, there were some other characters in this movie too. Joe Mentalino, who was played by Mike Starr, who I've seen his name around in the movies. I thought it was another guy who actually played him, but apparently it is Mike Starr. Let's see here. Not a lot of other particularly well-known names after Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Not really a lot of extremely well-known names. But this was Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels' movie, no doubt about it. And I said this movie got a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a good rating for a comedy.
It's pretty good. It's better than what the comedies usually get.
Definitely. In fact, I think Dumb and Dumber 2, that actually got lower, if I'm not mistaken, a lot lower than Dumb and Dumber. But that is to be expected of comedy sequels. Not a lot of comedy sequels are better than the original. But for my own review of the movie, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy the movie a lot more than I expected I would. I thought it wouldn't be the greatest comedy ever. It's not the greatest comedy I have ever seen, but it has definitely its funny moments.
Yeah, it was definitely deserving of a sequel, but I'm a little bit harsher of a critic, so I would give it like a 3.5. Doesn't deserve a 4, because I didn't really laugh all that much. He was the one that was laughing most of the time.
I really did find it funny. If you want, I mean, if the one scene in this movie that's really funny is the dream sequence that Lloyd Christmas has about saving his girl Mary Swanson. It's just a funny set of clips and skits and stuff like that. It's
yeah, the scene at the restaurant where he's just punching a bunch of people.
Yeah,
pretty much playing boxing with the person's nuts.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's the one part that actually made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's that scene in particular. The one where Jim Carrey, Lloyd Christmas says to Mike Starr's character, "Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?"
Yeah.
And I'm not going to repeat that sound because I won't do it as well as Jim Carrey does. So I'll save you that embarrassment. And basically, yeah, but watch that scene in particular and the other scene. They're very funny. I really do think they're very funny. So I was wrestling between a 4 and a 5, a 4-star and a 5-star. But there were some slow moments, I think, in the film. But not a lot of them, because this movie was very funny. And, this one was definitely a big-time performance from Jim Carrey. But definitely Jeff Daniels as well. He also added something to this film. Also, so anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think we've summed it up pretty well.
So if you haven't watched it already, watch Dumb and Dumber. I mean, it's not for everybody, I think. There are some people that will be put off from this movie, and there were critics that were put off from this movie. In fact, I think the great critic Roger Ebert gave it like 1 out of 4 stars or something like that. He didn't really like it at all. But there's different opinions and all that, and the Dumb and Dumber is definitely a cult classic for sure, and a movie that is just very funny.
I mean, who doesn't like the Muttmobile?
Exactly, and it makes a return in the Dumb and Dumber 2, I believe.
Yes, that it does.
So definitely, Dumb and Dumber came out last year, I believe, And
Dumb and Dumber 2 came out last year.
yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2 came out last year.
This movie is like 1993, I believe.
94.
94?
And 20 years. 20 years.
Yep.
This actually reminds me, real quick before we go, this actually does remind me of another sequel that is actually coming out. You may know about it, Zoolander 2.
Oh, I actually haven't heard about it.
There is going to be a Zoolander 2 that's coming out. Let me look it up here. Zoolander is one of my favorite comedies, by the way. It's just extremely funny. Zoolander 2. Oh, next year, February 12th, 2016, and the first one came out in 2001. Anyway, we're rambling on. I know that about that, but we just wanted to give an example of a sequel coming out way later than the original. And
it's what he does best, ramble.
yeah, Zoolander came out in 2001, and this one comes out next year. So there you go. So anyway, that is it for our video on Dumb and Dumber, our video review on Dumb and Dumber. I'd like to thank my guest, Arkham Assassin.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem, man. So that is it for our video, and D-Rock 1992 out.
And this has been Arkham Assassin, and I will see you next time.